Is this the fabled pendulum support set? Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Dimension Fusion, the OCG's fourth main set of 2021, actually is getting a release in January 15th of 2022. This pack has caught the power-ups for old themes as well as new themes. And of course, well, it will be getting some more info later on. So, we've all been pointing fingers at this set right now. And we've all been saying the exact same thing here. Pendulum, 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 pendulum. Because it's got the specific name Dimension Fusion in it. Now, if you guys, this shouldn't be much of a spoiler, but if you guys look back at the Pendulum set, or the Pendulum anime, what was it, Arc V, when you look back at the theme for that set and the way it worked, it was basically about fighting dimensional warfare. I know, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! Does some really weird, intense themes here. But when you look back at that set, or the anime, you did see that we kind of bridged the gap here with some other interesting things. Now, I'll talk more about the pendulum things here in a second, but when you hit me with Dimension Force, alright, and you hit me with a theme that big, you definitely know that there's going to be Ancient Gear support around the corner. Alright, and I've been pretty in tuned with a lot of these sets as of late for some weird reason. They've been pretty easy to guess for power-ups. But Ancient Gear's kind of gone underneath the rails here. Now, if we are really going to make a set dedicated to Arc V here, canonly, we do have to bring in something Ancient Gear related. It only makes sense because in a really weird twist of fate here, we always saw like the Ancient Gear monsters being like the big bad guys, the oppressors for lore. I still can't believe that, by the way, that Ancient Gears were the bad guys. So, Ancient Gears as of late have been really swept underneath the rug. Like, when was the last time you guys saw good Ancient Gear cards? Because it's been a while. So, if we are really going to bridge in for something here, for a set like Dimension Force, it would just kind of make sense to me that why would we not want to have the aggressors of the multi-dimensional war, which were the Ancient Gears? Hi guys, I'm really glad to have you guys here. Alright, even if it's just like 4 to 5 new Ancient Gear cards, anything that deck can get, besides, you know, good generic machine support, would help it out. Alright, so, man, what do Ancient Gears even need? Alright, literally, I just feel like it's always just been like an OTK deck. Slap the big guy on the field, go second, laugh at your opponent, break their board. Maybe something that would allow them to break a board a little bit easier. Maybe an in-house, not so much like an in-house Dark Will no more, but like the ability to actually allow them to like paralyze the opponent in a way that, once again we go back to that Dark Will no more argument here. We paralyze them in that way that would allow them to do their OTK, but in order to do the OTK, you already need like 4 to 5 card combos as it is. So if you open up like the perfect 5 card hand and you have like that imperm-esque effect, I'd probably want to focus on that. So there's that. Now, of course, with this being a pendulum based set here, you guys smell that? No, I'm not opening packs like Sam is. All right, that is. Wait, hold on. Nope, smells like sleeves actually for today's video. There should probably be DDD support in here as well. I honestly, I'd be shocked if for whatever reason here that we would skip out on DDD support. You know, the whole theme with Arc V here was the fact that we could mess around with that dimensional warfare strategy. And literally, DDD is like the best minds, the best war leaders, the best of the best across the dimensions, all right? And then Reiji himself gets a card, which, I mean, was kind of interesting. But when you look at the archetype, you're like, hey, pendulums. Well, technically, they're fusion, synchro, but when you're behind a set that's literally named Dimension, you know, you look at this and you're like, oh, okay, Dimension Force. Like, so now, yeah, I'm also kind of thinking that whatever happens in this set, like, you know, for obviously the headliner here, we do need to give something to DDD. DDD has been left in the cold about as long. Actually, no, I think I think Ancient Gears has been in the cold a lot longer than our dear friends over there. But DDD, literally tying into the story, makes some of the most sense to me here. And I don't know, what more do we need to give DDD? Like, they've got special summon extenders from the graveyard, the pendulum scales, their Link monster fixed a lot of the plays here. Do we just need to make better extenders for the deck? Do we need to make, like, a spell card that places the pendulum scales instead of going down the Link route? I'm not sure what you gotta give to DDD, because as of right now in the current incarnation and combos, I feel like you have to upgrade the combo lines themselves in order for the deck to get better, and I don't foresee an increase in the combo lines being the thing that you need to do. I almost feel like increasing the combo lines itself and trying to make things a little bit more complicated in that regard would just make things, I guess, harder. Maybe a contact fusion monster. I mean, we've already got how many pendulum boss monsters? This archetype was like 3 at this point. So we could probably do something in the regards for another pendulum boss monster. I mean, we don't have a pendulum link yet. I mean, technically, DDD could be the first one to get a pendulum link monster, because they've literally already got everything else pendulum related, so that wouldn't shock me in the least. That's some good card design for you right there, Konami. The first link pendulum monster goes to DDD, which you could very easily drop into Dimension Force the set, so I could see that. Now, if anybody here hasn't noticed, we've been doing power-ups of all the main cards as of late. You know, literally Black Rose, Majestic Star. All the headliner ace monsters have gotten those upgrades, which means that now that we're looking at this as a set that's specifically dedicated to, you know, Pendulum, okay, so what do we need to do in here? So Odd Eyes definitely needs an upgrade. Odd Eyes has been in the back. He's been crying, he's been flapping around, he's going, give me love. Alright, well, all the other Signer Dragons at this point, all the other dragons from this era have gotten upgrades as well, which means, man, Arc Rebellion, Crystal Wing, all got upgrades. Starving Venom, technically, hasn't got its upgrade yet, actually. I mean, we got the manga version of the card, which means technically Starving Venom needs a newer upgrade, but depends on which one you want to count. But Odd Eyes, as a central point here, definitely needs something. Unless this set is a prelude, and we're absolutely wrong that this is actually just a, you know, Dimension Force is just actually meant as a Starving Venom set, but then I'd be really weirded out with that fact. So, I don't even know what you make Odd Eyes do in an upgrade, man. Like, it's a pendulum monster, so do you have to go as far as to make it tribute over itself to, like, be able to special summon it? Do you have to, like, banish it from the extra deck? Like, what kind of weird summoning mechanic? And we've already done, like, Odd Eyes Fusion with this. Like, do we make it a Link monster? Technically, Odd Eyes does not have a Link monster yet, so there is a tie-in that we could bridge the gap there, but, like, that feels, once again, kind of lackluster at the end of the day. So I guess there is something to be said in that regard. Now, hopefully, the last point I want to make here about this is going to be a Pendulum theme set. Please go back and revisit all of the older Pendulum archetypes. Magispectors are the one that I want to focus for last here. This archetype has some of the coolest design in the world because it has the chance to deny the opponent targeting effects. Now, while that was very powerful in the era that it came out in, they've long since lost their boss monster. Boss monster was Kieran. You guys remember how sad Kieran was the day that Kieran left the format. A lot of people were sad. A lot of people cried. Kieran was that untargetable, you know, what are you going to do about it? And it kept coming back. You know, Magispectors have been out in the cold for so long with that lack of support at this point in time that they need something to make up for this. Either you need to make a Link monster for this deck in order to get good, easier recurability for this deck, which I think would make the deck a lot better as well. Look back at all these old Pendulum support decks and consider making something. I know the loss of Electromite generic Pendulum cards really felt the blow to that, but in terms of card design, especially like if you want to go down like specific archetypes, hello, Magispector, Bumbuku, like the whole iconic, they had a lot very good toolbox engine, but they've just been forgot about in the chasm of time. Yeah, I know. I feel you, Satellar Knight players. I know, guys. I know you've been forgotten about, too. But that's a story for another day. So what do you think about Dimension Force? Please leave a comment down below what you guys think. Smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on the day with some more cool awesome content. Peace out, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out Vanquill40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by Vanquill40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mquillgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.